What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing. I just finished up watching Derek Chisora versus Kubrat Pulev 2, and this was a 12-rounder in the heavyweight division, and this fight was Saturday, July 9th from the O2 Arena in London, England, and this fight was broadcasted on DAZN, and in this fight, Derek Chisora was able to get a split decision victory over Kubrat Pulev. So I personally scored this bout a draw. I had it 114 to 114. And I was watching this with my dad as well. He scored at 114, 114 also. So, yeah, the three judges scored this bout very, I guess you could say wide in favor of who they had it for. One judge had it 116, 112 for Pulev, which is, 8 rounds to 4, which is pretty wide and clear. One judge had it 116, 112 for Chisora, which is also pretty wide as well, the same score, but just reversed on who they gave it to. And then one judge had it very odd, 116, 114, which is 10 rounds, and that was for Chisora. So, yeah, this is a massive win for Derek Chisora. In his past couple of fights, he's lost because he wasn't really on the judge's end of the decision, and he had some good fights, like against Joseph Parker, their first fight. A lot of people, myself included, thought he should have won. And he also fought Alexander Usyk and then Parker again, and he had some good fights with both of them. But here, this was a really good war. All of Derek Chisora's past couple fights have been excellent. So, yeah, this was yet another one of them, and finally here he's able to get a very good win. Definitely this is his best win of his career thus far. So just to break this fight down, the first half of the fight was a really good showing of a competitive match. But the second half of the fight was really where both fighters started to land big bombs and hurt each other. But in that first half, after 6, I added 58-56 for Kubrat Pulev. Derek Chisora had a good first round, but then rounds 2, 3, and 4, and even round 5, I gave to Pulev because I thought he was just outworking Chisora. Whenever Chisora would be backed up on the ropes, Pulev would be landing shots on the outside a bit. He was really the one away from the ropes, but he was the one landing as well, with some big 1-2s and stuff like that. And Chisora was really trying to land some big right hands over the top. But in the first half of the fight, he was really mainly digging to the body with big, powerful hooks. But then around number 6, I edged it to Chisora because he started to work much better than in those first other rounds. But you definitely could have gave Chisora maybe round 2, somewhere like that, out of those first 6 as well. But then in round number 7, it's really where the big punches started to get landed, as Derek Chisora had a huge round. He was able to land big overhand rights on Kubrat Pulev, backing him up, able to land big hooks as well. Big round for him in round number 7. Also in round number 8, Chisora was buckled really badly with a nice right uppercut to the chin by Pulev that sent him sort of stumbling and buckled his knees back into the ropes. And then whilst on the ropes, seemingly hurt, Chisora threw a big overhand right that landed on Pulev and sort of defended himself with his own offense. That was also a very big round as well. Then in round number 9, Pulev was buckled himself as Derek Chisora was able to land 2 big powerful hooks. In the beginning of the round, he landed a big powerful hook that sort of sent Pulev the other way, stumbling. Then again, near the ropes, he was also stumbled a bit. But then it was just really back and forth from there on in that round as well, as Pulev was also able to land some of his shots of his own. But then rounds 10, 11, and 12, they were really back and forth. I gave round 10 to Derek Chisora. It was a really good round. But I thought Chisora edged it with some of his big power punches to the body as well. And then round number 11, I gave it to Pulev because Pulev was able to sort of pin Chisora up to the ropes, and Chisora wasn't really landing as much from the defensive position as he was throughout the entire fight, as he was on the ropes and getting hit with big 1-2s, hooks as well. But then around number 12, I gave it to Chisora because Chisora was landing big overhand rights on Pulev from the ropes, and he was sort of trying to bait Pulev in, trying to play rope-a-dope with him. He was on the ropes, sort of popping his right hand out, trying to wait for Pulev to come in, and whenever Pulev would come in and just back out a bit after throwing a combination, he would throw a big right hand over the top, and he was able to land some of those in that 12th round. That's why I gave him that round. So comment down below how you scored this fight and who you think won, whether you think it was a robbery, or if you think the judges got this decision right, or if you thought it should have been a draw. So this goes to the question, actually, what is next for Derek Chisora? This was a massive win, or this could go for both fighters. A trilogy fight is definitely an option, considering they're 1-1 and considering that this fight was a really, really good fight. A trilogy is definitely an option. But when it comes to Derek Chisora, considering he won a WBA, I believe it could have been an international or an intercontinental title in this fight. I think that it'll definitely propel him in the rankings in the WBA. It could get him a shot at current regular WBA champion Daniel Dubois. That's definitely an option, or someone else just outside the top 15 or just inside. But as for Kubrat Pulev here, losing for the third time in his career, this is definitely the toughest loss of his career. I know he got knocked out in his other two, but considering that he only got knocked out by the two best heavyweights at the time when he fought them, I mean, it was just still, this fight, I mean, a much tougher loss. But, yeah, in his next fight, he'll probably go back to Triller. Unless he does into a trilogy, he'll go back to Triller, fight a couple of decent top 25, top 30 level opponents, maybe a guy like Carlos Takam, somewhere around there, get a solid win, and then could get called back up by DAZN for a massive fight, like he usually has on DAZN, like a really, really big main event against someone inside the top 10. So overall, Derek Chisora gets really the best victory of his career thus far, as he was able to defeat Kubrat Pulev by split decision in an outstanding fight. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.